Imagine you're at a wedding, a big, over-the-top wedding, some distant relative. You barely know half the people there, and then you hear it. A major businessman just arrived. The kind of person where one photo with him could move your career forward by 10 years. The kind of person with the strongest connections in your industry, and suddenly someone introduces you. You have one chance, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes to earn a space in his mind. Now tell me, what do? Do you introduce yourself and list your achievements? That's what you do, right? Or do you go straight to your problem? Sir, I need an opportunity. Or do you get overly humble and say, Sir, I'm your biggest fan. I want to learn from you. Those are the three options that came to your mind, right? If your answer is yes, then you've already lost, because you're part of the crowd that irritates powerful people every single day. The crowd that wants everything, but understands nothing. The real game is not what you say. The real game is what you make that person feel. And in the next few minutes, you're going to learn the exact formula that creates connection with powerful people. The path Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. The rules you don't find in textbooks. But listen carefully. This is not motivation. This is war. Social war. Either you learn the rules of this game and rise, or you spend your life watching other people rise. There is no middle path. 16th century Italy, the city of Florence. Back then, Italy wasn't one country. It was a collection of small states. And inside each state, politics, betrayal, conspiracies. Kings changed, blood flowed. In that chaos, Machiavelli was a diplomat. He worked in royal courts. But one day, he was thrown out of power. He was removed, tortured, and exiled. And in that exile, he wrote something that remains controversial even after 500 years. The Prince, a book about how power actually works. Rules nobody openly teaches. He wrote that the world doesn't run on morality. It runs on perception, utility, the balance of fear and respect. His most famous line was, "If you can't be both, it's better to be feared than loved." But that doesn't mean you become a villain. It means this: respect is more valuable than affection. Love changes, respect lasts. And when you want to get close to powerful people, you don't need their sympathy. You need their respect. Machiavelli understood that every relationship has a power equation. Someone is above, someone is below, someone gives, someone takes. And the people who understand this equation, they always win. Whether it's Italian politics 500 years ago or modern corporate life today, the rules are the same. Human nature doesn't change. Now you might think, this is Italy. Machiavelli was talking about kings. Where is power in my life? But stop and think. How many people have to impress a boss at work? How many people have to prove themselves in front of senior leadership? How many people in a family business have to convince a father or uncle, give me responsibility too? How many people have to pitch an idea to an investor or a big customer? How many people have to message someone important on LinkedIn? How many people have to build status in professional circles? This is happening every day. Every day you speak to someone who is more powerful than you, financially, socially, professionally, and every time, your behavior decides where you stand on that ladder. So the real question isn't whether powerful people exist in your life. The real question is, when they're in front of you, how do you behave? Do you understand what they need? Do you speak their language? Or do you stand there with a list of your own needs? And this is where the dark reality appears. One very few people understand. Powerful people don't see the world the way you and I do. Not at all. For them, every person falls into a category: useful or useless, asset or burden, interesting or boring. And they decide this within the first 2 minutes. The first 2 minutes. When you stand in front of a powerful person and say, "I need help," what happens in their mind? They think, another taker, another beggar. They already have 50 people a day asking for something: time, money, attention, favors. You get added to that list. You become invisible. When you start listing your achievements, they think, this person is here to prove himself. He's insecure. He needs approval. And powerful people don't take approval seekers seriously. Because someone who doesn't trust his own ability, how will he increase anyone else's power? And when you say, I'm your fan, the game is over. Fan means follower. Follower means below. Powerful people don't collect fans. They collect allies, partners, people who strengthen their empire. Now, watch what happens when people don't understand this basic rule. Look at LinkedIn. Thousands of messages every day. I admire you. Please give me one chance. I need guidance. Delete, delete, delete. Networking events. People hand out business cards, repeat their job title. Let's connect later. No one connects. Parties. People circle around an influential person, laugh at everything, agree with everything, trying to get close. But when the night ends, nobody remembers them. In a family business, the son tries to impress by listing degrees. I got an MBA, but he doesn't want to learn the ground reality. Ask him to do real work. He gets irritated. He wants to become owner instantly. The father thinks, he's demanding, not earning. I can't give him responsibility yet. In office politics, an employee talks to the boss and complains, someone else got promoted, I work harder. The boss doesn't hear hard work. The boss hears complaint, jealousy, entitlement, and powerful people get irritated by demands. This is happening every day. Thousands of people fail to build connection with powerful people for one reason. Their approach is wrong. They show need instead of capability. They show anxiety instead of confidence. But why does this happen? Because we're taught the wrong things early. Be humble, be polite, respect seniors, impress elders, say please, say thank you. But nobody teaches you that conversation with powerful people is a different game. There, politeness without strength is seen as weakness. Courtesy without stability is seen as nervousness. Machiavelli wrote 500 years ago, people decide by what they see, not what they hear. Your posture, your body language, your eyes, your calm, these matter more than your words. Powerful people feel energy. If your energy carries need, they step away. If your energy carries competence, they come closer. The principle is simple. Power respects power. Confidence pulls confidence. When you shrink in front of a powerful person, they will treat you as small. But if you present yourself with equal energy, not arrogant, but not submissive, they notice you. Because most people bend, the one who doesn't bend looks different. So the question becomes, what should you do? If begging is wrong, self-praise is wrong, fan behavior is wrong, then what is right? Listen carefully. Rule 1 is crystal clear. Never go to power as a needy person. Go as an answer. Go as a solution. The moment you show your need, you lower your status. The moment you show your capability, the game changes. Look at who surrounds powerful people. Takers, advisors, flatterers, parasites pretending to be allies, and among all of them, powerful people instantly recognize who adds weight to their empire and who hollows it out. Your job is to present yourself as someone who stabilizes, someone who quietly makes things easier, smoother, stronger. You don't compete with their power, you complete it. But to do that, you must follow Rule 2. Before you move, observe. The biggest mistake people make while climbing the social ladder is acting too quickly, talking too much, opening up too fast. Machiavelli wrote, "Before war, you study the land where you will fight. In the same way, you must study human beings. Powerful people often hide behind masks, but their real desires, fears, insecurities leak through small cracks. Their tone, their timing, who they listen to, who they cut off. At that moment, you're not there to impress. You're there to diagnose. Because once you know what they truly want, recognition, loyalty, entertainment, admiration, you can deliver it in a way they can't refuse." Here's a real story. 1850s, America. A young man named Andrew Carnegie, poor background, immigrant, no connections. As a teenager, he worked low-level jobs. Later, he got a small position in a telegraph office, and he noticed something. His boss was always in a rush. His boss dealt with railroad executives. Decisions had to be made fast, so Carnegie did something most people wouldn't. He stayed late. He learned the telegraph codes that only senior operators knew. And one day, when the boss wasn't there and an urgent message came in, Carnegie read it, understood it, and made the right call. When the boss returned, he asked, "Who handled this?" Carnegie said, "I did." The boss asked, "How do you know those codes?" Carnegie said, "I learned them." He didn't ask for help. He didn't show off. He watched what his boss needed, a reliable person in emergencies. So he became that person, quietly. And that day, his life changed. Not because he begged, because he became useful. Now you might think, that's old history. What about today? Here's a modern example. 2010's Silicon Valley. A young founder named Brian Chesky. He had an idea. People could rent out a room in their home, but he had no money. Investors kept rejecting him. So he didn't rush into rooms begging. He studied first. There was a famous investor named Paul Graham. He ran Y Combinator. Chesky read Paul Graham's essays, interviews, blog posts. He learned what Graham respected. People who don't quit, people with grit, people who create solutions. So Chesky didn't walk in saying, "I need money." He told a story. When they were broke, they made limited edition cereal boxes during the election and sold them to survive. Paul Graham wasn't impressed by cereal. He was impressed by the mindset, the refusal to quit. He invested. That company became Airbnb. Do you see the pattern? Not needy, a solution, not defeated, a fighter. These look like small details, but inside them is a major formula. Powerful people don't care about your needs. They care about their needs. And the person who can fulfill their needs becomes priceless. So now the question is, how do you figure out what a powerful person needs? That brings us to Rule 3. Mirror their world. Don't force yours. Powerful people trust familiar types, not strangers. They prefer people who reflect their values. You don't copy, you match. This isn't deception, it's rhythm. When you enter their rhythm, they stop feeling like you're an outsider. They start believing you understand them. And in that moment, your outsider label begins to disappear. If you meet someone serious and disciplined, don't walk in acting loud and careless. They won't take you seriously. But if they're open and relaxed, don't become stiff and overly formal. You'll feel cold. Catch their wavelength, then adjust. But it must not feel like acting. It must feel natural. That's why you observe first, understand, then adapt. But matching is not enough. Now comes Rule 4. Keep mystery in your capability. Never appear like an open book. If you reveal everything you can do, you become a product, and products get replaced. Machiavelli understood, showing a little creates demand. You want them to feel there's more depth than you show, more reach than you admit, more value than you reveal. When they feel there's something you're not saying, they don't lose interest. They get curious. You move from one of many to one of few. Rule 5. Be humble in ambition, but fierce in execution. Powerful people dislike desperate hunger to climb, so stay calm, patient. Act like growth doesn't control you. But when the moment comes, move decisively. Powerful people recognize this instantly. Self-control with intent. Rule 6. Make powerful people compete for your loyalty. If your loyalty is free, it has no value. Present yourself as someone whose commitment is a win. Create slight friction, not rebellion, but independence. When powerful people feel you're not dependent on them, they respect you more. Rule 7. Turn flattery into strategy. Empty praise is poison. They hear it all day. So don't say, "You're amazing." Say, "Your timing on that decision was surgical." Now your praise has intelligence. It hits the exact skill they're proud of, and they associate that feeling with you. Rule 8. Never outshine their shine. Even if you're more capable, don't display it openly. The ego of power is fragile. People who look bigger than the king get crushed. Rule 9. Build alliances sideways, not only upward. Most people focus only on the person at the top, but the real game is around the top. Gatekeepers, assistants, trusted inner circle people. They shape perception. They control access. They whisper the right names to the right ears. Build quiet friendships with them. Offer small value. Win trust. They will carry your name upward without you asking. Rule 10. Turn gratitude into a weapon, never weakness. When a powerful person helps you, don't respond like a servant. Respond like someone who understands exchange. A servant says thank you. A strategist returns value. Action-based gratitude changes the entire dynamic. You stop being a taker. You become a contributor, and contributors are hard to remove. Rule 11. Master subtle rebellion. Complete surrender invites disrespect. Sometimes you must push back, politely, intelligently, not threatening, interesting. A small disagreement, a quiet boundary, it signals spine. Powerful people don't trust spineless people, but the key is this. Disagree, like you're protecting their interests, not attacking their authority. Rule 12. Control your visibility. If you show up everywhere, your novelty dies. If you show up rarely but leave an impact, you become unforgettable. After a win, step back, disappear. Let others say your name. Powerful people respect selective presence because it mirrors their own behavior. Rule 13. The crown. Walk like you belong there, even before you've earned the seat. Your posture, tone, presence must signal certainty. Nothing exposes insecurity faster than over-explaining. When you enter powerful rooms, don't wait for permission. Behave like permission is already yours. Machiavelli would say, "Fortune favors the person who appears already chosen." Now here's a story with a lesson inside it. Early 20th century France, a man named Victor Lustig, a con artist. Once he sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap. He pretended to be a government official. He invited 5 major dealers, held a meeting in a luxury hotel, sent formal letters. And in that room, he carried one thing perfectly: authority. No hesitation, no fear, complete confidence. One dealer paid. Lustig vanished. And the dealer was so ashamed he didn't even report it. I'm not telling you to cheat. The lesson is simple. Confidence is power. Lustig had no real authority, but he acted like he did, and people believed it. Now imagine that level of confidence combined with real competence and real character. What happens then? You become dangerous, in the best way. So remember this. Entering the world of power is an event. Staying there is war. Luck can give you an opportunity. Only intelligence can protect it. Now remember only 3 things. 1. Never go showing need. Always show value. You are not a beggar. You are a solution. 2. Never outshine your boss, mentor, teacher. Make your wins feel like their wins. 3. The real game isn't on the throne. It's around the throne. Build sideways alliances, not only upward. Understand this. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding human nature. This is playing the world as it is, not as you wish it were. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few feel what you truly are. The world runs on appearances. And if you learn to appear the right way, you've already won half the game. Now you have to choose which side you're on. The people who complain the world is unfair, or the people who understand how the world works and win by its rules. Now the decision is yours.